Make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discussion continues. Appeal number 257840, an area variance, Cesar Barzalo. Seeking an area variance, section 24037 district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 35 feet to the front yard property line is required. The applicant can provide 11.7 feet for a new front porch to remain, thus requesting a variance of 23.3 feet. The property is located at 16 Spook Hill Road on 1.032 acres, is identified as tax grid number 6257-01-003924 in the town of Wappinger. Good evening, Counselor. How are you tonight?
Good evening to you all.
If I may just place some things on the record. After this public hearing was closed, without disclosing matters of attorney-client privilege, the board had some concerns regarding some of the other issues on the property. Counsel and I have engaged in a number of phone calls and discussions regarding his client's property. And I just want to make clear for members of the public who may be watching and those who are present that under New York State law, conditions need to be reasonably related to the variance that is requested. The town is aware that there are a number of code violation issues out at the site that will be handled and addressed by the town's code enforcement division. We are certainly not turning a blind eye to those issues. With that being said, there has been a discussion. I would ask for counsel to confirm that one of the primary concerns of this board has been that the lack of siding on the house is quite an eyesore for the neighborhood. So the ZBA would like a condition in the event the variance is granted that siding would be placed on the home within a 6-month period. I'm going to allow some of the board members to discuss. There is a concern about making sure that the siding is of what is customary for a residential home in this neighborhood in the town of Wappinger. We do not want to see something that's very bright, unusual color or something like that, and that is a concern. So I would ask for a discussion from the board as to whether or not the board would be agreeable to a condition of vinyl hardy board or clapboard of a muted color or color customary to the neighborhood, and I will allow for a discussion. I understand there are concerns. Council is here to address those.
I mean, it seems like your client likely has a product or a color in mind.
Yes, and I didn't raise this with them. I didn't know we were going to have this question, but I would just request that they have the ability, if for some reason they're thinking of putting some other form of reasonable covering like shakes, or who knows, that we just have the ability to go to Barbara or whoever to just get it approved. In case
they should submit what they're going to.
Yeah, exactly. If in case what we're talking about doesn't meet the exact definition of what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, whenever we condition things, ideally we would want you to come back and tell us what you're going to do.
Oh, okay. That's
so again, this is about the time frame. I know we're on a clock.
Sure.
But if it can be submitted to us prior to the next meeting, I would say that would be the way to go.
So I calculate the 62 days is expiring on August 11th, and their next meeting is August 26th. So it's roughly a 2-week extension that they would be seeking if we adopted the resolution at that meeting. So if you're amenable, what I would suggest is as soon as possible, if what do they call that? The specs from the manufacturer of the siding could be provided?
I'm like a type, like vinyl siding, clapboard.
Yeah.
That's usual and customary. Cedar shakes. There's something that is what you normally see on houses.
Your client has not always done normal construction? which is why we would like to see what they're
That's
proposing.
right, this is.
Understood. The thing I misunderstood was I thought we were voting tonight, and then this was going to be a condition to do this within 6
I
months.
thought we had reached that, and that
Oh,
was a
is that not the
misstatement on
case?
my
Okay.
part. I thought that the understanding with the siding, so we can do this two ways. They would like a written decision to confirm.
Wait, can I have a sidebar real quick?
Sure.
Because I think,
Well, I would have them not after the decision on this. So that would give your client more lead time to start cleaning up the property. Okay. I'm just going to generally summarize
Sure,
what the
yeah,
point
that-
was made, is
that is
that,
fine.
you know, the board had raised some conditions or some concerns with the existing violations on the property, and we've talked about the role of the ZBA versus the code enforcement. And the one point that I raised to Mr. Doherty when we were discussing that the condition would be to this, on this issue, is that those code violations are not going away. There are most likely going to be tickets and notices and orders to remedy and all those things issued. Council's concern is that under the code, if we adjourn this to August 26th and a violation is issued, then we run into the code provision that states that we cannot. Obviously it is up to the town's jurisdiction, but a notice to remedy is going to have a 30-day. I don't think we're going to have any violations.
I could comfortably say no violations and/or tickets would be issued in the month of August.
okay, thank you. That was the concern.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just didn't want to,
Yeah. Again, we just like to know what's actually happening. We've been through this where we say you have to do screening, and people agree to it, not understanding what that means, and what they end up doing is not acceptable, right? So it's just good to know detail precisely what they plan to do. And given the fact that I think your client likely knows what they intend to use on this, I would think it's an easy ask.
no, it's fine. It's just Rebecca and I have discussed at length what, we think they're going to do. I'm just not sure
Yeah, I
everyone
mean,
here
that's not
has the
any of
same.
us.
It's not you.
Yeah.
That was kind of my point, but yes, I can deal with Rebecca on those things, absolutely.
So can I then state for the record that your consent that the timeframe to issue the decision will be extended to the August 26th meeting?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. And I will be drafting a written decision for the board. I would just ask, he can email in the samples of what the siding's going to be, correct? Yeah. So if you can email that to Barbara.
okay.
Again, I think the position of, speaking for myself at least, is that we want this house to look beautiful, right? Like, we want it to not be what it is now, which is some parts finished, some parts not finished, flashing lights. Like, we want this to be something nice in the neighborhood that is not an eyesore, right? So like that, and, the adjacency to the street and how close it is, with this variance, like, it's a very visible structure. Like, when you drive down that street, it's right there. And, there's a big concern that it may never be finished otherwise, right? Like, we want to make sure that this, it seems like the best possible outcome of this whole process is that there's a house that just looks acceptable and not crazy.
No, understood. They took a place that was completely run down and overgrown, and they're doing a lot of the work themselves, clearly, and they've done a lot of good work there. They've got a lot more to do. I don't disagree. They don't, it's not like they're hiring out companies to knock this out like a new construction home, but I think their hope is to get it done, and they're not that
And
far
one
off.
would hope that they're now familiar enough with zoning
Yeah, that's all.
that they understand what they now need to do this the right way.
I hope so also. I understand. I've had many discussions on the process.
They brought
Different
enough
process.
attention to themselves. They are under a microscope.
I would just note also, I brought this up at the June meeting for members of the public, both who are present and who may be watching on TV. I understand tensions in the neighborhood are difficult. I've handled a lot of neighbor disputes during my career, and I've had this conversation with Mr. Doherty. The one thing I would just recommend to anybody is, if you're frustrated by something your neighbor does, then make a note of it and make a complaint of it. But confronting and escalating the situation, I have found in my career, has never led to any good, and two wrongs don't make a right. So I would just ask that that be considered by everybody so that we don't end up with fights and disputes out in the neighborhood.
I agree completely.
I think one of the things that when this first started was that we wanted Mr. Barzalo to be a good neighbor. Right now, I don't see evidence of that. I know that's not a concern only that the house looks nice, but I want them to also be nice.
I think, and not to be antagonistic, but there's, from their perspective, and whether it's right or it's wrong, they feel like they are constantly, like you said, under a microscope. They have people parked out in front of their yard, you know, on their house. Some people that are here, some people that are on the board, you know, and that's, you know, you could argue that that's harassment, right? Because it's, you know, you're the zoning board, and you've got an enforcement division that is there to, you know, if there's, for argument's sake, a truck parked on the street or something that people don't like, there's a whole process for that. And, you know, I think sometimes...
Wait. Just to go back, this started with them taping us.
Right.
We went out there for a visit, and there was, what, 7, 8 people videotaping us? Right
No,
in front of us.
So I don't want to go backwards.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
okay.
Don.
I didn't mean to- I didn't
understand your
mean to.
position.
No, but I'm just letting you know why this is all going on.
And I believe our attorney had made a good point to the people either here or that are watching, that if there is a problem, please let us know about it, but let us know about it in writing to our code enforcement so it can be handled the correct way, so it can be handled through the channels that it needs to be handled through. That's all I can suggest, you know? Council, other than that, I would like to say thank you for putting this off till the 26th so we can have it in writing. Also, thank you for all the work that you've done on behalf of your clients. You've done a tremendous job for them.
Thank you.
They're not very easy people to deal with. They've given the town a hard time. They've given people here a hard time. And I know, you know, it's great that you came on board and are really helping them move along in this process. I think things have gotten better since you've been here, personally. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Trying hard.
And, you know, thank you for putting this off, like I said, to the 26th. You know, it was one time, and then it should be all sealed up by the end of August, and we'll move from there, okay?
No, thank you. Hopefully, we can resolve these things and everyone can get on with all the other things
Yep.
in life.
Let's move
Okay.
forward.
Absolutely.
Right? Thank you.
Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Rebecca, do we need to, we don't need to do anything else, right? We don't need to adjourn anything else?
No,
or
we
don't
have
need
this-
to- we have agreement on the extension and the written, okay.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Doherty. Well, I
Okay.
think all you have left is to adjourn your meeting. Thank you all for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Last night's time.
Steve, Art.